Because, hey, okay, I'm pressing the button. Bop! I did. I pressed the button. See what happened? Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. Badoody. She looks like she's standing on a... Look, she's standing on the leg of the thing. That's actually the leg of this. What? Everything is all messed up now. How did that? I guess this is further away than it normally is. But I can't move it closer because if I do... Wait, how did this happen? See, the webcam, I don't know. Things are different. What happens if I do this? What happens if I do this? There, that's way out of the way. And then, I'll never get out of here, though. I can't get out. I won't be able to get out. Unless I move this a little bit. Actually, I could move this way. And then I just have to move this over. But I still can't get out. So now I do this. Yeah, it's okay. Well, and now she's all enlightened. That's reasonable. Still think perfect dark? Well, you can think that all you want. I swear, she's a little frumpy. I tried to do my best, but she's a little frumpy. And slightly Asian. I know. I don't know how that happened. She looks like Grace meets this is Grace Archer. This is Grace Archer. It's Kate's Asian cousin. I don't know. It just came out that way. I remember I messed up her eyes and I tried to fix her eyes, and then she turned out like this. You know, whatever. It's all good. Who cares? They're both adorable, so there you go. Anyway, welcome back to the stream. We'll get to the box hype and movie hype portion momentarily. But in the meantime, well, whatever. I don't know. Things are really good lately, seemingly. I mean, I could be mistaken, but I don't think I am. It doesn't feel mistaken. Everything seems to be finally getting into the thing. You wish you could draw? The key to drawing is keep drawing. And you get better at it. You got no red patch from your blood work? I was expecting to bruise, no sign of one. Yeah. Well, that's good. Like anything else, Mar, you just have to keep doing it. You start out, if you've never done it before, you start out and you suck at it, and then you keep doing it and practice. Exactly. Yeah. Practice, and more practice. And repetition. Repetition. If you do the repetition, practice. And this is where people falter. This is where people give up. They get frustrated because in order to get good at something, they have to do it over and 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 over. And then afterwards, you keep doing it over and over and over. And then more over and over. So when you see anybody who can draw really good, someone who can play a musical instrument and they can do something really complex, or they can build a house, or anything that they can do where they're really good at it, they've done it thousands and thousands and thousands of times. That's basically it. That's the secret right there. Kobe never stopped practicing. Who wouldn't? Who would? I read that Larry Bird was a kitty cat. And she got caught on my shirt. You're on my shirt, you mope. There she is. Yeah, get out of here. You're not. See, I'm as long as I lock in the pillow, she's okay. Larry Bird was not a natural athlete. This was what I remember reading years ago. He was not a natural athlete. Like, he was athletic, but he was not like a superstar athlete. But he practiced and practiced and practiced and practiced and practiced nonstop, day after day, hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, and basically became one of the greatest to play the game. You know, that's from just plain out and out hard work. Now, he obviously had certain skill, for sure, but his take, at least from what I understand, is just the fact that he worked constantly at it and became that good. You know, it's not just, and certainly there was a certain natural part of his ability, but there are other athletes, for example, who, you know, and like, I think with him, it was sort of like, even at a younger age, he was okay, but he was not over the top great. But he made himself that way by just working at it. Joe Satriani? Well, Joe Satriani, again, he didn't appear out of nowhere, but he was a teacher. He came at the right time. That's the thing with Joe Satriani. He came at the right time when, after Eddie Van Halen, and then suddenly all of these shredders started to come out, and then he came to the forefront. Yeah, he taught Steve Vai, Kirk Hammett, all of these people before Joe Satriani was you know, famous or popular or anything. But again, he put in all the hours. Steve Vai put in all the hours. All of those guys, all of those crazy shredder guitar players or whatnot, they've spent countless hours practicing and playing. All of the great musicians, all of the great anything. Malmsteen, same thing. All of them. All of them. Like, no, there's none of them that didn't eat. A quote from Tommy Tedesco. I have a book of his called for guitar players only, whatever. And there's loads of quotes in there. One of the quotes from him, he said, and I totally believe this. He said, I don't know a giant on guitar that didn't eat, sleep, drink guitar. You know, and that's it. Nigel Tufnell, sure. That all of these people, that's all they ever did. You know? There might be an exception here and there, but all of the great players of any instrument, anytime, it's really all they did. You know? We're talking all of the amazing giants, you know, the greatest of their field. And you could take it again, like I say, beyond music or anything else. They're people that's all they did. Like, here's an example. I could be a much better player than I am. I haven't watched them both yet. JRG, I haven't finished them both. I watched half of both of them. And I didn't see the Terry Brown one yet either. But I intend to finish them. Yeah, sure. I mean, those guys, there's a good example. They became great because they toured and toured before they were famous, before they were big. They played and toured constantly. The Beatles, before the Beatles became the Beatles, they played constantly. They used to play shows before they were big, before they were famous, and they played nonstop. All of the gigs they could possibly do, and that's all they did. But I was going to say, like, for example, I mean, I consider myself, I'm fine. I'm a fine player. I put a lot of time into playing. I would have been even better if I didn't play video games. Or if I didn't watch movies. And all of the time that I spent watching movies and playing video games, if I had to put it into guitar, I would be an even better guitar player. So there you go. When did I know you were really good at music? I never really thought about it. What the way I look at it is, I just never stopped. And that's one of the things I used to say that to students. Life would suck? No. You have now here's the other thing, Mar. This is the other thing about it too. Life would not suck because you would love doing it. That's the other thing, is that the people who put all that time into it are not doing it to punish themselves. No, but Mar, but the thing is, you'd be doing something you loved. You would be doing something you loved. You would be playing music all the time. And you wouldn't do that if you didn't love doing it. If it wasn't a passion, you would not do it. And you wouldn't be missing out because you'd be satisfying like I say, satisfying a passion of yourself, But yeah, but we're talking about but Mar, but this is again, this is the key. You're actually hitting onto the key here. The people that are the best in their field, they don't do anything else. They don't want to do anything else. This is all they do. They're not depriving themselves. They're actually devoted all of their energy into the thing that they're passionate about, that they love. And they wake up in the morning and they go and they start playing and go doing more stuff. And then they try to play with other people, and they constantly do it day after day, hour after hour, and they end up becoming great because of that, I remember, I never thought about it as me becoming, when did I become good? I got to the point where I knew. And this is what I told students. Actually, this is what I was going to say. One of the things that I've always told students was that I would say, you start to relax and be comfortable with your playing when you realize that no matter what you play, you don't suck. It's not about how good you are. It's recognizing that whatever you do isn't bad. Like, and this is not being egotistical. What I'm saying right now is not being egotistical. And that's this. I'm never bad playing. You know what I mean? When I play guitar, it's never bad. There are times where it's not as good as other times, but it's never bad. It's always at least good. Is it exceptional? Is it incredible, amazing, or whatever? Maybe sometimes, but not always, at least not in my mind. But one thing I do know is that I don't suck. And that's what it comes down. Kind of like a porn star, but for music. There you go. And that's the key, is that recognizing that whatever you do isn't bad. And it doesn't matter how fast you play or how fancy you are or any of that stuff. That's how you became an expert at driving stick shift. Practice. That's it. You just keep doing it. If you're a good driver, if you're good at anything, you don't have to be the best. You just have to not be bad. And as long as you're not bad, you're fine. Like if you're a good driver, you'll probably never get into an accident, but that doesn't mean you're not going to get into an accident, and that still doesn't mean that you're not a bad driver. Odds are if you're a good driver, you probably won't get into an accident. But that doesn't mean that you can, race in the Indy 500 or something, Yeah, that does nothing with the other. Well, being a good driver is being aware of the other drivers. That's the thing. But that's also true though, Coyote. Someone else can completely come out of nowhere and smash into you or whatever, No, of course not. But it will save you a lot of the time. It will get you out of trouble the majority of. In other words, things may happen that's not your fault. Or if you're playing guitar and suddenly a string breaks or something, things happen. But it's not your fault. If you don't do anything wrong. The guy ran into the car behind me, and I ended up on the side of the highway talking to the cops. Yeah. You never know, but that's why they're called accidents. But someone else makes the mistake. But that's the key. I avoid failure like the plague. I'd rather sit and do nothing than risk failure. But this is the other thing too. Actually, Kabuko's, we got ads starting up. By the way, we'll do the box hype movie like thing in a second. But I just want to make this one other point because Kabuko's this is another thing I always talk to the students about too. You can't be afraid to fuck up. That's the other thing too. You got to put yourself out there and risk sucking. You got to be able to risk sucking. And if you're comfortable with that, if you can be comfortable with not being perfect in front of people, then you're fine. It makes you relax more and you don't take it so seriously. And it's never as bad as you think. A friend of mine in university asked me what my greatest fear was, and I said death. And he said fear. I said, okay, you can die for me and I'll fail for you. We'll see who's happier. I'm not, well, no. And by the way, Coyote, not to get into this subject, but is it fear of death or fear of dying? Because there's a difference. And good morning there, the worsty. Good morning. I didn't tell you to suck. I'm ready to poop. Bah. I'm not afraid of that. I'm ready to poop. No, I'm not saying to suck. What I'm saying is don't be afraid to suck. It's okay if you, because like from a musical standpoint, for example, from a musical standpoint, if you put yourself out there, no matter how bad things are, it's never as bad as you think it is, or never as bad as you think it's going to be. And while it's happening, you think it's worse than it actually is. But more times than not, it's actually better. And it's never horrible. It's never completely terrible, unless you're completely unconscious. You have no clue what you're doing. But if you're out there and you're trying, it's not going to be terrible. It's going to be fine. What degree of quality it is, who knows? Sucking is the first step to between being kind of good at something. That's right. You have to suck. Because if you don't know how to do something, you're not going to be any good at it. So you are going to suck. So you have to suck. So you have to suck. Must. Necessarily. And just get used to it. Oh, yeah, and that reminds me too. Actually, I'll wait till the ads are done there now, but one of my favorite quotes is actually from Jimi Hendrix. Someone asked Jimi Hendrix if he had advice for young aspiring guitar players. And I thought his advice was perfect. He said, the one thing about playing guitar, this could be the same about a lot of things, but the one thing about playing guitar, he said, you have to get used to the frustration. And he's 100% right. You won't have success if you're afraid of failure. Exactly. And the whole thing about getting used to the frustration is perfect. It's like you go. Yeah, I read that, Coyote. I don't know what that was about either. but the idea that frustration is why people give stuff up. They're trying to do it, and they get frustrated, and they think, to hell with this, and then they give it up. But anybody who gets good at something gets frustrated, but it doesn't put them off. They just keep trying or slowing down or whatever, But you have to, you have to try it, do it slow. Yeah. You have to try it, do it slow, take your time, give it time to and before you know it, you'll be able to do that thing that you couldn't do. But you have to do it right. You have to keep going and keep working at it. That was another thing that I used to tell students of mine. I would say to them, for example, like say for example, I could say this right now. I've been playing guitar now for 51 years. I would say something like this. I've been playing guitar for 51 years. And the student at the time or whatever, it might be a different number at the time. But when I first started telling students this, I've been playing guitar for 30 years. I've been playing guitar for 35 years. I've been playing guitar for 40 years, whatever. So I've been playing guitar for 51 years now. And all that means is that 51 years ago, I picked up a guitar and I started to learn and I didn't stop. That's all it means. I didn't stop and I didn't die. No, but this is the thing though. It's like, it's got nothing to do with anything else other than the fact that I just started and I didn't stop and I kept playing and I kept playing and I'm still going to keep playing and I'm still going to try to improve and I'm still going to try and get better. Still remember first tower, how I built, how I was frustrated after the skeleton phase and how I was happy after people started to come to live in there. Yep. All of that stuff though, you know what I mean? It's like, you just start and you try and the thing that you're having a hard time with, you just keep trying it and you keep trying to improve it, keep trying to get better. There's lots of music that like, for example, there's tunes that I've been working on lately, that I haven't perfected yet at all. I mean, not to say that I've perfected anything, but there are tunes that I have not completely ironed out all the wrinkles. I can perform them and I can play them, but I still don't have them down to the point where I can just blast through them. There's other tunes that I can play where I can pretty much play, mistake free completely, but certain tunes that I still have to work on. And the only way that you do is you keep doing it. Yeah, when you wind up being able to play something you thought was too difficult. Well, hell, JRG, it's like on guitar, for example, just playing bar chords, for example. Yeah, just playing bar chords is always a challenge for so many people that never, they avoid bar chords like the plague because they're so hard to do, which they are, because your hands are not made for it. And you have to train yourself to be able to do them and get every note to sound, because your fingers are not intended for that sort of thing. But eventually it comes. The strength comes to your hands, comes to your fingers. You keep trying, and all of a sudden one morning, and this is the way it was for me. Well, all of a sudden one day you go to try it and suddenly it's there. It's like all of a sudden everything settles and boing. And now you didn't get it all completely. Oh, hey, that's much better. And then before you know it, it's suddenly you can't not do it. But you could be trying for ages, or playing certain chords and not getting all the notes to ring out or whatever. You learn a lot by losing just as much as by winning, because you learn to get better. Yeah. But the other thing about it too is just taking your time. Johnny Ramone, just taking your time. You don't have to rush. You have to just give yourself time for your fingers and your brain to cooperate and figure out how to do the things that they're trying to do. And you can't do it in a day, and you can't do it in a week. Some things, there are tunes that I've worked on where it took me months to actually get them all down. Months. And when you see certain performers, and they're playing something and it's just amazing. They've spent ages playing. I remember John Williams, a classical guitar player, talking about spending 3 years to learn a tune. And he would say, like, it would take 1 year to familiarize himself with all of the chords and the fingering, and to work out, to remember and to know, so that they knew what to do and how to play the thing. Then it would take like another year to completely cement it in so that the technique and whatnot was rock solid. And then the rest of the time was incorporating the tune itself, so you were playing the music. So you break through the technical barrier, and then you establish the format for what you're playing, so that you can do all of the things that's necessary to do and get all of the technical issues out. Then it's practicing the performance, so that you're actually playing the music. You've gotten all the technique together. Now perform the song and play and get the full, complete emotional contact of the thing. It can take, it doesn't necessarily have to take 3 years, but there's those stages. It just takes time. But for the average person, if they try to do something for stuff like that, and they work at it, and they're not getting anywhere, and they get fed up, and they give it up and say, screw this, I'm not doing this anymore. They were struck by the frustration thing. Whereas people who are truly passionate about something, who really, really, really want to get good at something, they will persevere in spite of it, because they know if they keep doing it, they'll get it, and they'll be determined to get it. It might take weeks, might take months, but who cares? Because they just want to keep doing it. And this is what I was getting at before. It was like those people who were like eat, sleep, drink guitar or whatever they're into. That's what they do. And they don't just do it because they're forcing themselves. They devote everything. We call those people stalkers. Nah, that's different. But it's true. It's true. Anyway, look, I got some boxes here. I babbled on, of course. Sometimes I babble. And was that metal bear there? Oh, there you go. That's one thing about this. One thing about this new chat of mine. Certain blues come out really, really weird. And Metal Bear's name there just came out like sort of very blue. for whatever reason. But anyway, I got boxes. I got movies too, but we'll see. I got boxes. I had to show this. Actually, I was going to bring out all of the floppies for this thing too, but I didn't bother. Because Coyote was mentioning, this is what we were doing one day. Coyote was in the hospital a number of years ago, and sucking up the fentanyl, and we were playing, at the very least, we were playing this. We were playing lots of other things too, but we were playing this in particular. I think it was before, I think it was before God got all of these games. The graphics in this golf game are amazing, but this was before the GOG got them all. No, Coyote. It was both. You were high as balls on fentanyl, and the graphics in this game are amazing. Yeah, it wasn't on GOG. This was my copy of the game. I also have a large number of the courses. Now, of course, with GOG, I've got all the courses, which is great. But this game, you would have been mad. No, you wouldn't have cared. Yes, I know, exactly. But this game, there was one before this too. But this game was what made Access Software. Access Software, of course, were the people behind the Tex Murphy series, all of those games. But they would never have happened if it wasn't for Lynx. They started with the original Lynx game, the Championship Golf, and then I think after that it was Lynx 386. I used to have the box for that too, and I don't have it anymore. It's just too bad because that was a cool box. Lynx LS, the 1998 edition. There was the 97 edition, I think, too. And the 99 edition. I've got Lynx LS 99 as well. I don't have the box for that one, though. But anyway, yeah, Lynx 386 was amazing. I used to play it all the time. And then it was the Lynx LS series when the game really took off for me from a graphical standpoint. The other games looked cool. They looked good, but not like this did, because you could have a high definition graphics. Now, this may look even more, well, actually, here's a better picture on the back. I mean, for its day, and even by today's standards, it still looks really nice. It's not, I mean, now, I mean, they can get totally photorealistic, but the graphics in this game were great. This was, well, you could play this on DOS, but I think it was Windows as well. You could play this on Windows as well. I think it's, yeah, Windows 95. Yeah, actually, so it wasn't DOS. It's Windows 95. That's right. It's not DOS. The previous games were DOS. This was Windows 95 or Windows NT as well. 16 mega RAM. 800 by 600 resolution and 32,000 colors is the minimum. 42 megabytes of free hard drive space and whatnot. Had to buy a better computer to play that back in the day. Well, you could also, I mean, this also allowed you to play, what was the other one? Yeah, you could play this in up to 16 million colors at 1600 by 1200. Resolution, if you could do it. The other thing about this that was great was that if you had any of the previous courses, any of them, whether it was from Lynx 386 or the original Lynx, any of those courses, all of them were represented in this game, but you can unlock them by showing that you had the floppies. So as long as you had the disc 1 and you put it in the drive and you wanted to access that, this actually contains the high definition version of those courses. So you could play all of the courses that you had previously, which was terrific. And especially for someone like myself, because I had, and I've got the box of them. I'd have to dig them out of the closet again. I forget where I put them. But I've shown them many a times on here. I've got probably 20 odd courses all on floppy disks going right back to the first game and Links 386 and everything from Pebble Beach to the St. Andrews and all of these courses, Banff Springs and everything, and I could play them all in this. And if you get the GOG version, it comes with all the courses, which is just fabulous, right? But anyway, but they're all contained on this. There was a, let me just, actually here, let me just open this up because there's a couple of other cool little features with this. So first of all, you got, of course, the, don't go flopping around. There we go. It comes on 4 CDs. Now the actual game, this is the installation disc and setup, the program files for the game, the 6 golfer animations, and 17 converted SVGA courses. That's just disc 1. And then disc 2 has the Kapalua Plantation and the Kapalua Village course, Kapalua Bay course, and the Latrobe Country Club, and video flybys and all. That's the second disc. And then you get the other 2 discs are flopping out of the drive. The video tour of Latrobe, the virtual reality tour of Arnold Palmer's office and workshop and such. And then there's another video tour. So yeah, there's 17 courses that are available on this. Anyway, the point is, there's 4 new courses in this, and then there's 17 representations of all the previous courses that they had. So it was just spiffy. It's nice that they have a company that would let you do that. Where all of these, I mean, you spend all this money on this other stuff before, and then you get a new version of the game with new courses, but you can still use the ones that you bought already, which is great. This is the manual here. On the back of the manual, it's got descriptions of all the clubs, all the distances, and then how to operate. It's also the mouse clicking of this was really good too. It was just like you click the mouse, hold it down, relax, and hit. Yeah, importing the other courses was brilliant. Especially when you spent, hundreds of dollars on previous courses over the years, and then you realize, oh, well, I can play them in high definition. Beautiful. It was a really, really nice thing to do. And of course, it gave an excuse to sell the other courses. If people didn't have them, they could still buy them, But yeah, and I liked the way you swung in this game. You click and hold the mouse until it reaches the point that you want to be the power that you want to swing at. And then you release the button, and then you click again when it comes down and you want to hit it and nail it. So you could still be early or not. So it still had a certain amount of skill, right? It wasn't just automatic, obviously, but it was very nice. Click and whap. Just so it felt, it's not the same thing, obviously, but it felt like if you were golfing, how hard will I hit the ball, and then make sure I smack it just right. And you either push or pull or whatever, or you try not, and sometimes you'll nail it right up the drive, up the fairway, and other times you'll spin it off into the woods, And that's when you take back and try it again. Yeah, and more power is faster. Exactly. So if you went really, really hard, you'd have to nail it. And the putting was very similar too, And look, I mean, it's a pretty intricate manual considering it's a golf game, The other thing that was cool with this, actually, here, let me show you this here first. You got you could get a $15 rebate from Access if you bought Lynx LS 1997. You can get $15 back if you bought this, so that's kind of nice. You could play Lynx LS on the internet. Basically, you could play against other players, but you're really just playing against like a ghost of the other players, and in terms of how they hit. That was kind of cool. And here's an ad for the Pelican Hill course if you wanted to order that one, a newer one. And then you got this I thought was a cool thing. You got these 4 things here. These are actual, the Bay course. These are actual scorecards from the courses. So it shows some pictures, and there's a picture of the entire course there like that. And on the back there's a scorecard, which is kind of nice. There's the one for the Bay course. These are all in Hawaii, I believe. I think so. There's the Plantation course. This is their thing, and there's the scorecard, you know. Yeah, this is in Kapalua, Maui, Hawaii. Gives the address and all of that. The other one was. And this one here, I think, is also. Yep, this is the village course. Cool. And and this one's not. This is the Latrobe Country Club, which is in Pennsylvania. And again, same thing. There's a scorecard thingy. Whatnot. Oh, and here's the registration card. Register today. Yo. 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 And there you go. But anyway, it's fun. Also, it's kind of nice playing this on a projector, on a large screen. Gary Orchard lives forever. I got a couple of minutes here. I can show you this because this is easy enough to do. This was the... this game was responsible for Angry Birds. This was before Angry Birds. We had Worms. It's the same kind of thing. It's the same kind of thing, really. But maybe better? I don't know. There was a whole franchise of these. This was the first Worms game. Hey. The first Worms game. As they say, they're mean, moist, and loaded for action. Great fun for multiplayer, absolutely. And essentially, it's Angry Birds. Or at least Angry Birds is Worms. You get a sales offer on GOG. You got Worms 2 for 75 cents. The Origin Ocean Software. This is the original one. Worms ultra fast-paced game of team strategy for up to 16 players. It's a little bit Lemmings and lots of Terminator. Only more pink and squishy. With bazookas, homing missiles, cluster bombs blasting the screen, and unrelented fury, only the moist can survive. Worms Crazy Golf? Really? Yeah. What else you got there? 4 teams of 4 worms per team, each worm controlled by a different player. Up to 16 players can duke it out on a single computer. That's the other thing, too, is that this was a great game to play on the same computer with other people. Never played Angry Birds? Do they have bazookas and Monty Python references? They have bazookas and stuff. I don't know about Monty Python references, no. But it's the same idea. You just got to try and shoot the guys on the other side of the hill. It's a similar type of gameplay, really. Each battalion of 4 worms takes turn bombarding the enemies with whatever weapons they can dig up, including the ultimate weapon, the exploding killer sheep. Hogs of War inspired by these games? Yeah, absolutely. It's the ultimate battle of strategy, wits, and reflexes to gain dominance of challenging landscapes from dirt and water to lava pits and Martian gooloop. From 1995. Now, here's a box. This is why there aren't so many game boxes anymore. But there's a beautiful logo of Ocean in this lovely blue box. And you open up the box and you get the entire contents of the box. Which is a piece of foam. There's the box. And a lovely piece of foam. Carmageddon-inspired worms. Here's the CD. Worms the CD. And Worms the manual. The manual of operations. All the thingies. And I think, if anything, I think this manual is basically the same, regardless of your system that you used. Because it doesn't talk about the installation. It doesn't tell you how to install the game. Just gives you the menu. There you go, installation. There you go. Trying to see what. Yeah, this doesn't. It doesn't specify. But I think this is the PC. This is definitely the PC version. So, hello there, Centauria, and there's the registration card from Ocean of America in San Jose. Howdy, howdy, howdy. We got ads starting up here now, so I guess we'll save movies for next time. I was babbling again. I get the babbling thing happening sometimes. I can't help myself. Anyway, I'm going to take these. I'm being much more careful with my boxes now. Because Willow is taken to chewing the corners off of these boxes and stuff. Or scratching. I don't think she's chewing them. She's scratching them. And maybe biting at them a little bit. And we can't have that. Because, you know, all these boxes were in perfect condition. And then now, since like 10 years of displaying them, they're getting a little beat up. Cats are box fans. Hey, but after the ads. Yeah, we're trying. After the ads, we'll get back to the game, though. Woo! Yeah, follow our friend Centauria. He does a streamy thing. Scratching my cardboard. Let's see if you'll ever watch a movie again. The mope cat. How are we doing here? Everything else is the same. Hey, we're up to 195. 195 subscribulators. You can do the streamy thing again now. You're back from vacation. Nice. 195 subscribulators. Only what? How much? 305 left to go. 305 subscribulators. And only about 2,500 more watch hours. I figure, I'm just taking a guess. I'm thinking we'll get there within like 8 months. We might be there. We might be there by Christmas. Maybe. We start the new year. Start the new year being monetized by Twitch. How about that? So why can't Willow learn from the spirit of her predecessor and treat your face like cardboard? What? She doesn't do it. She never chewed up boxes. She used to chew up cables. Armcat was a cable chewer. I'm not sure. I think there are 2 cats in that bucket. There are. There's 2 cats in that bowl there, you know. Armcat was the real. If it wasn't for Armcat, I would be nowhere. No, they don't chew on cables. Only if I picked her up, Borjanon. Only if I picked her up. There's 2 there. Spent brain cells. There's 2 of them in that bucket there. There's 2 of them in there. In that bottom part. Yep. I wonder if I can brighten that up a little bit. I might be able to. Nope, that's as bright as it's going to get. It's always hard to tell. I don't know why. But there you go. Look, that's as bright as it's going to get. That's all right. In a couple hours, the sun will be, well, a couple hours, an hour and a half, the sun will be up. Then you'll see. Oh, look, it's all over. The ads are done. I can move this around. Mouse, blipple, blapple.